Quinby. This is Good Morning PD on Live 95.
Welcome back to Good Morning PD Live 95, hour number 3 on a Wednesday morning. I want to thank our good friends at McCall Farms. I'm still struggling with trying to understand how something could be genius one moment and maniacal, evil, maybe even illegal the next moment. That is the deal with Facebook.
Data mining.
Data mining and data harvesting. There's kind of a story. The BBC's talking a lot about it because they brought in a guy yesterday from Cambridge Analytica, who was a firm kind of under threat now by some sort of federal government that maybe had, I don't know, gotten information from Facebook in some way, shape, or form and dispersed this information in a way that was against Facebook policy and I guess whatever polices the internet. But it's exactly what the Obama team did in 2008 and 12. I mean, it was genius when the Obama team did it, and now Facebook is in some sort of under federal threat, potential federal investigation. They're asking Mark Zuckerberg to come to Washington and testify before an intelligence committee, and it's the exact same thing we celebrated when Barack Obama and his tech gurus, did all the data harvesting in relation to the elections of 2008 and 2012. And for the life of me, I don't understand it. We've got someone in the field of trying to understand the picture that Facebook is trying to paint, and he'll be with us in about 15 or 20 minutes. It's a guy who's an image consultant and a president of a PR firm talking about the problem that Facebook has. But I found an article in the BBC late last night, printed it this morning. There's a whistleblower in this group called Cambridge Analytica named Christopher Wiley. He appeared before a committee of British Parliament on Tuesday, and he actually kind of spilled the beans on something that we've all wondered whether or not was the case. Now, Facebook still adamantly denies they can do this, but he was asked a question by a member of the British Parliament, and I'll read it verbatim. There's been various speculation about the fact that Facebook can, through the Facebook app on your smartphone, listen in to what people are talking about and discussing and using that to prioritize the advertising as well. Other people would say, no, that's not possible. It's just that the Facebook system is real good, almost unbelievably good at predicting what you're interested in. They're not listening to our conversations. They're just real good guessers, in essence, is what Facebook argues. And this whistleblower from Cambridge Analytica said, an interesting response. You have a television playing versus if you're in a busy place with a lot of people talking about language process, about a work environment. In other words, you're in a work environment. It's not a television playing. It's a bunch of people conversing or conversating one with another. It's not to say they're listening to what exactly you are saying. It's not natural language processing. That would be incredibly difficult to scale. But they understand the environmental context of where you are to improve the contextual value of the ad itself. That's a smart guy's way of saying, yes, they listen in some way, shape, or form to the context of the conversation. Now, Facebook has long denied allegations that its app listens to its own, listeners or users in order to customize ads. I don't buy that. I mean, I'm not a big app guy. I've never been on Facebook in my life. You talk about I have a Facebook page, and every now and then my wife shows me things on Facebook, and some I'm interested in, some I'm not at all interested in. I've just always been real suspicious of something getting that big and that powerful and that fast. I've just always been a skeptic, kind of my contrarian nature. Something's up over there that I'm not quite understanding nor comfortable with. But I know the few times I have said certain things, and I'll get an ad pop up, and it'll be very similar to what I talked about. And I just remember saying one day, in my Pamplico way of speaking, damn phone's listening to me.
Mm-hmm.
She says, you're crazy. Stop with that nonsense. You're such a redneck. I said, I'm telling you, this telephone's listening to me. It's listening to you and I. I mean, I don't know if it understands every single word we say, but I think it has target words, certain words that create a response by the analytics or the algorithms in that Facebook formula in a supercomputer somewhere in a building that I have absolutely no comprehension of. But that's basically what this guy from Cambridge Analytica says. It doesn't understand every word you say, nor is it interested in every word you say. But if you say McCall Farms, if you say Pepsi-Cola, if you say Under Armour, if you say Nike, if you say NBC, I believe there's a huge database of words that create a reaction. And I do believe they're listening to what we say. I don't think there's somebody with a cup on the end of a string and her lady's got her hair in a bob and they're making shorthand notes of what we talk about. I'm not going that far. But you're not going to convince me that in that world of the internet and Facebook, Instagram is a subsidiary of Facebook, I have no doubt in my mind that there is the ability to detect verbally things you say that allow for a reaction within that supercomputer somewhere way over there that I know nothing about. And instantly you get ads kind of indicating that somebody heard what you said. I call them catchwords. I mean, that's probably not the right descriptive.
I had a situation, and this isn't Facebook, but it's Google and YouTube. I was on a phone call talking to my brother, and he suggested a video. Hey, you need to check out this video. And it was like a concert video, a Prince concert is what it was. Now, I had not really, I don't think ever looked up Prince on YouTube or anything like that before. And we got off the phone, and that night I scroll through YouTube, and that video pops up as a suggested view.
They're just real good guessers.
Right.
They're just very, very good guessers. But I still go back now. Whether they do this and whether they have the fundamental right to do that would be my biggest question. I mean, do they have a right? And Rev, you got to think that in some way, shape, or form, Apple had to be in on it, or Samsung, or one of these. I mean, I just don't understand the technology necessary to allow for that.
And all those little things you agree to when you install an app, you give it access to certain data, and they probably their cover is there. They can do it. They're not violating any rule. You've agreed to it. They
probably had a team of lawyers put together that contract, and when you say yes, I agree to this, there's some small print in that contract that says, okay, you just gave us the right to listen to what you said. And once again, I don't think they're interested in what you're having for lunch. Well, maybe they are. Maybe there's some restaurants who have keywords. But I've just always been real suspicious of something that becomes that powerful in that little period of time. And it's just interesting to me how it can be genius of one political campaign to maximize their advantage in the world of internet. I mean, we've heard these smart technocrats, that supported the president. And now all of a sudden we got a bunch of crooks. Cambridge Analytica, who the president hired to do a lot of the data harvesting and information gathering, they're the biggest bunch of crooks in the world now. And they were geniuses, and they did it on behalf of something that I guess Mark Zuckerberg believes in. I would ask you this. Has your opinion of Facebook changed any since you found out this information?
It has not changed any. In fact, I've never installed any of these third-party apps where you make the agreement and you do a survey that's kind of offline from Facebook. And so I've never even done any of those.
Do you think
I was suspicious of those to begin with?
Well, apparently somebody believes something because the stock has taken it on the chin over the past week or two. I mean, the stock has really been depressed. Now, the market sold off a lot, so I would imagine Facebook just part and parcel of
I'm just saying it doesn't surprise me.
So you believe Facebook, in some way, shape, or form, has the capacity to pick up on verbally some things you say?
I sure do.
As do I. And I go back to my Pamplico way of explaining it. This damn phone's listening to me. I'm not sure it cares what I say, but there's I was trying to think of what I was doing. I was lawnmowers or something. I mean, I was talking about, I need a lawnmower. And the next thing you know, there's an advertisement for like a Kubota lawnmower or yard tractor or whatever. And I'm like, wow. I mean, either I'm real loud or they're real, real smart. But they say they're just real good guessers. We'll take a break. We'll be back after the break, and we'll have someone in here who knows far more about this than I do, really from a branding perspective. What is the damage done to the Facebook brand? Has there been any damage done? Are they on the hook for any legal obligations or responsibilities? We'll find out that in just a minute. Thanks for listening. Thanks to McCall Farms. Good morning, PD Live 95.